record.
It's on recording.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about challenge groups first, since that's our most pressing subject coming up. So first of all, the one of the questions I think Cassie had was making the challenge groups. What's our favorite ones to get people involved in the challenge groups? And ultimately, I really don't think that it matters so much what the challenge is; it's how it's presented.
Okay.
And because I have had, honestly, like I'm not doing this to try to toot my own horn or anything like that, but when I was leading my own challenge groups, or when I was leading them previously, before, like, I have been trying to get all my new coaches into it, I really had a lot better participation. And that's something that I really want to talk to with all the new coaches. And I know that you guys mostly aren't new coaches on here, so hopefully they'll listen to this recording. It's not singling out anybody, but when you put a post up that has like no enthusiasm in it whatsoever, has a boring picture, has no emojis, has no, like, nothing, you're not going to get as good of a response from people. And I really think that's one thing that was lacking in my last challenge group, was that obviously we had lots of new coaches, so they didn't really know all this. But I say, like, always imagine that you're on the other side of it. Like, what are you going to want to participate in? Are you going to want to participate in, like, a boring picture with somebody who does not seem enthusiastic at all about the topic? Or are you going to, respond to something better that's, like, really vibrant and full of life and funny? Or, it doesn't always have to be funny, but funny does help. And really has a purpose behind it. So I think that's one thing that was significantly lacking in the last group, and that's why I had a hard time with knowing how to split people up. Because first of all, we've got a lot of new coaches, which is awesome, but it's going to take some training on how to do this. And also, when we have too many coaches participating in the group, I also think that does not get as much participation in, because nobody knows who's leading the group, the challenge for the day. So you want to always make it really, bold, like, this is the challenge for the day, and I'm so excited about it, and put some effort into looking for the picture. Something else that was lacking this last month was people putting pictures with the posts up, just forgetting to do it, and that's really important.
I don't know how you can not have a picture, though. I feel like I don't know. I find a million of them all the time. I send them. Kayla's my proofreader on my pictures. I send her them like every night before the post, though. So I feel like.
Well, you're really good at finding pictures. You're better at me than finding pictures, funny pictures and stuff like that. But it just takes some effort, and I really think that we all need to make sure that we're planning out our posts the night before. That really helps with getting it up there first thing in the morning, and it being more valuable. Because if you're trying to figure it out in the morning, you're trying to do a million other things. You're trying to, and your brain is not completely all into it. So just go ahead, save the picture, save your whole post, just copy and paste it into the thing, and roll over and go back to sleep, or whatever. Like, that's what I do, because I like to have it up by 7, but I don't typically get up by 7. So I post it, and then I roll over and go back to sleep. So
Okay.
I hate you for saying that.
I know.
Don't get up by 7.
Yeah. I know. I'm up at like 4:30 every morning.
I know, you're crazy. Like, by the time you've woken up, and like, by the time I wake up, you've already had an entire day.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this because this is recorded. What is your look on the copying and pasting from your outline that you made for the challenge group? Because we have a couple of girls saying, well, can we just copy and paste? And I highly encourage that if you're going to copy and paste, you reword it or make it, like you said, add emojis, do stuff to it,
Right.
but make it more vibrant than just your
Well,
layout.
you know,
Not that your layout isn't good.
I made those templates in a way that they are very copy and pasteable. I think they provide a lot of value. They get people thinking. I tried to make them as copy and pasteable as possible. For the reason that I want the new coaches to learn from it. Because the whole reason I made those templates is because I realized that the value was lacking in this challenge group. And so my dog is driving me crazy, scratching at the door. Hold on.
Roxy.
My dog. Okay, so that's why I really wanted to sit down and make the time for what's going to get people engaged. So, yes, I've made the outline if you need to. I definitely would rather you copy and paste it from the outline instead of just putting a boring challenge up for the day because you are uninspired or you're rushed or whatever. But what I do definitely recommend is when you copy and paste it, make sure you're adding your own little personal touches to it. Add emojis for sure. Add exclamation points, add your own twist to it if you can, but just make sure you're spicing it up and make sure you're putting it with a very catchy picture. Or a picture that has to do with the post, obviously. So I use that as, obviously I give them the option of posting your own thing. Ideally, I want everyone to learn how to construct their own valuable posts. But I think that is a good guideline to go from if you just don't know how to do that just yet, because that is a learning process. I think it takes a couple times of being in challenge groups to be able to learn how to construct good posts, just like it does with Facebook, learning how to create valuable information that you're putting out there. It takes practice. And a huge part of the reason how I learned to do that was by following successful coaches and making it my own, but using the same type of value system and punctuation and things that really caught my eye. And so, yeah, if, to answer your question, I'd rather them copy and paste it than throw something that is not going to inspire anybody. But I also really, really encourage to add your own touch to it and to start learning how to construct your own valuable posts. That's really important in becoming a good leader as a coach, is to learn how, always be thinking, what was I inspired by? What would I be inspired by this post that I'm about to put up? And I think that's true with not just challenge group activities, but with your daily posting too. It's always important to put yourself on the other side of the post, how they're receiving it. So yeah, okay, so then let's move on to challenge group ads. Honestly, I have done all sorts. I started off doing official challenge group ads, and I've even tried to do more recently, even last month, I did a whole collage of these before and after results, and it did not nearly get the response that I was thinking it would. So basically, official challenge group ads are a complete fail to me so far.
Are you talking about on your regular Facebook page or a like page or both?
No, just on my regular Facebook page.
Okay.
Official challenge group invites with me just putting something generic up there saying, I have a new challenge group starts whatever day. Even when I did my before and after picture back in March or something, and I said new accountability group starts March 17th, and I put my before and after picture up there, it was a complete failure. Like that, people do not care about posts like that, honestly. The biggest thing that you're going to get response from is by posting consistently every day and then adding in at the end, new challenge group starts October 12th, new challenge group starts, whatever, or I'm so excited about our new challenge group that's starting, in a couple of days. And then the main things you're going to do, really specifically with getting people to start on the date, is by messaging them starting a week before. I mean, like for me, I followed up with so many people starting on Monday saying, hey, I know you were super interested in it. I just want you to know that the new online accountability group, I never use challenge groups, obviously, I never use the term challenge group. I always use online accountability group. I say the new online accountability group starts in a week. I just wanted to give you a heads up in case you were still interested in joining us with the program. What? Nothing? Okay. So a lot of that, as far as challenge group invitations, is personal messaging with the specific invitation to join your group. And then now today, the post I did today with the Halloween thing, that is the most challenge group advertisement that I will do from now on. Like after last month with me doing that whole collage of the before and afters, and like each month I try something different, and all of those are just absolutely nothing. I'm not doing those anymore. Like I'm just going to be doing your daily posts and adding in at the end, new online accountability group starts in 2 weeks. New online accountability group starts this date. PM me for details. Like that's all I put. And I really think that that's the most effective, honestly. Okay, any other questions about those two subjects?
So why do you not call it a challenge group?
Because I found that the term challenge group, it's very Beachbody. So us as coaches are going to know what a challenge group is, but to a customer who knows nothing about it, that's a really almost a scary term for them. Like, what's the challenge going to be? And I get that question asked so many times. Well, what is the challenge? What is the challenge? And I'm like, it's more daily participation challenges, and it's more for the accountability and the motivation. So I just find that I just stay away from the word challenge unless it's with coaches or unless it's with seasoned customers. As far as advertising, it's online accountability group. And I just get better response from that, honestly. Everybody's scared of the word challenge. So I just leave it out. And I really think that challenge is a Beachbody lingo that we can say. But you'll never see me post on Facebook challenge group. It will always be online accountability group. Because that's way less scary, to somebody who has no clue what it is. It takes the question out of it, instead of it being like, oh my God, what's the challenge group? What are they going to make me do? And, it totally takes the fear factor out of it, I think. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Okay. Any other questions about those two?
No.
Okay. Heather, feel free to chime in if you have any questions, okay? Okay. I know you're cooking and everything. Keep on at it. Okay, so let's talk about the response that you give. This is for Brittany Taylor. The response that you give after sending an invite, like sending a cold invite, basically. So one of the things that works really well for me in sending a cold invite to somebody is just flat out saying, hey, girl, this is really random. Like, I know this is really random. So that way you're not targeting. They don't feel targeted. They don't feel, like, well, why did she choose me? Like, what, like, it's just very, hey, I know this is really random. I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. I just sent this to Heather, so I'm going to try to find it and read it again. Okay. So I say something like this. Hey, girl, I know this is super random, but I just wanted to see if you would at all be interested in hearing about these online accountability groups that I've been a part of lately. It has changed my life so much, and so, of course, I want to share the good news. Would you be interested in hearing more about it? Okay, so then what? Yeah, I want to hear more about it. Then you're like, oh, crap, what do I say? So how I approach that is I say, I go one of two ways, depending on their response. I'll either say, okay, great. Well, first of all, I'd just like to find out a little bit of information about you. Like, what are you looking for in a health and fitness system, or where are you at currently with your health and fitness, or what are your goals for health and fitness? I don't ask them all that in one go. Like, you want to keep the conversation going by, ping pong it. You want to have lots of questions to keep them engaged. So that's one way to go about it. A lot of times, Brittany said that when she does that, when she asks them, okay, great, well, tell me about your health and fitness goals, then she doesn't get any response back. So the other way that I handle it is they say, okay, great, yeah, I want to know more information. So I'm like, let me make sure I'm saying this right in my head before I say it out loud. I say, okay, great. Well, what I do is I just want to get to know you a little bit better, so that way I can make sure that I give you some good advice for a fitness program that might work best with your lifestyle. Okay, so I don't mention like any specific challenge pack. I don't mention a sale. I don't mention anything like that. Like, I just basically keep it really generic. Try to keep them engaged at all costs. Always end with a question so that they have to answer you. So, and again, back to always put yourself in their position. So you can kind of feel them out, like, how do they respond to the question? And this just takes practice, honestly. So, hey girl, you want to hear more about the online accountability groups? Sure, let me hear about it. Okay, well, what I do as a coach is I just get to know you a little bit better and find out what you're looking for in a fitness program. And then I can help get you set up with it, or if you already have a Beachbody program at home, we can get you plugged into the challenge group that way. So I really like to add that option in there too, because then it takes the edge off that you're just trying to push a sale. So because ultimately that's how I got started. I had T25 already. And no, Catherine didn't have an immediate sale from me. But I mean, like, the end reward was a lot better for her. To rather just let me join the challenge group, because I wasn't gonna buy Shakeology. If she had told me, no, you can't join my challenge group unless you buy Shakeology, then I wouldn't be here today. So I'm all about offering, hey, do you already have a Beachbody fitness program laying around? Or we can get you set up with one as an option, because I really feel like that helps take the edge off of people, and then you never know, they could be your rock star customer that turns into a coach. Yeah, I mean, does that help? I know Brittany's not on this call, but from y'all's perspective.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, Kayla, can you type that out somewhere, like the second option of what you said, when you don't mention a sale at all?
Yeah. Okay. Type out
Thank you.
response.
Type it out so we can copy and paste it.
Let me tell you, copy and paste is my friend. I have everything.
Love it.
I have everything saved to notes in my phone, from telling them about the challenge, the fitness program, specifically the 21-day fix, from telling them about the 21-day fix and what I do as a coach and what we do in our challenge groups, all the way to the very.
Where do you have that
I have it saved to notes in my phone.
at? Oh.
Yeah,
Can you suggest
Can
those?
you upload?
those in the group so many times. I've pasted them into the Coach Mentor group so many times, but I guess I'll tag you guys in it when we.
Bump them back up, cause I got a new phone now. I know how. I just figured out how to use my notes the other day, so I'm gonna start saving
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, everything is saved to notes in my phone, all the way to. I mean, first of all of your links need to be saved. That's like a. Super.
I saved those on my page, on my web page, like a drop down box. They're just there.
Okay. And then all the way to how much does it cost, how I respond to that. I've got it typed out. Oh, you can't see that. Typed out. The bundle package comes with a 30-day supply of Shakeology. You can stretch it out to make it last longer if you need to by doing half scoops a day or every other day. It also comes with the color-coded portion control containers, eating guide, 8 different 30-minute workout DVDs, and my accountability groups and coaching is free and always available to you as long as you need it. All of that is only $160. Okay? So that's how I tell the price to people all the time. I literally copy and paste that into the message because that's how you need to be breaking down the price for people. You don't need to be saying, like, it costs $140, and then, like, not even telling them what all they get in the package. Like, break it all down for them, everything that they're getting for that $140, and then put all of that for only $140. Like, be super excited about it because it's an awesome deal. And then I have notes all the way saved down to when I send them the link to purchase the package. I have, because I like to tell people, I like to walk people through the sign-up process. Okay. So when I'm sending them the link to purchase the package, I also include this into it. I copy and paste this. In this next link, you will just choose the buy now option on the first page. When it takes you to the next page, you can choose the flavor of Shakeology you want in the drop-down menu and then click add to cart and you're ready to check out. This does sign you up for a monthly shipment of Shakeology, but I make sure to give you a week's heads up in case you want to cancel or delay it at no charge. If that worries you, then I can tell you how to cancel it as soon as this order processes. Wink. So I send that with every single I send to people.
I like your wink, your emoji wink.
There's an emoji wink at the end. And I think I found that actually really helps too. Before I started writing that out and sending that to people, I got so many people who would end up backing out of it because of the automatic shipment. So ever since I started adding that into it, I've had nobody even question the automatic shipment. So that's really, really helped a lot. So let's talk about price objections. No, let's talk about conversation transitions, since that's back on the subject of sending out invites and stuff. Okay, so transitioning a conversation. So you're talking about, like, just saying, hey girl, how are you doing? Catching up, right? Okay. And then how to turn that conversation into a beach buddy conversation. Honestly, I do it the exact same way that I do cold invites. If I can find, obviously I want to try to connect with somebody on a personal level before I just send them that cold invite. That cold invite example I said, like, hey girl, I know this is so random, but da 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 da. That's how I send cold invites, but that's also sort of how I transition conversations where I connect with them on a different level about something else too. So yeah, obviously the number one choice is going to be to try to connect with them on a personal level first. But if you just can't connect with them on a personal level first, then send them the cold invite. If you're connecting with them on a personal level, then I just kind of, like, I keep the conversation going until it starts to, like, dry up and, like, okay, I can't keep this ping-ponging much longer. And then I just say, same type of thing. I know this is random, but I've been really loving these accountability groups that I've been doing, and I was wondering if if you're following a certain fitness routine, or would you have any interest in hearing about these online accountability groups that I've been doing? I never ever mention a package up front. Like I always just I put the focus on the online accountability groups, because ultimately if somebody already has an at-home fitness program that's a Beachbody fitness program and they want to use that, then I'm going to let them into the fitness group with that. But I just really think it's so important to not mention a sale at all, like, because that's just going to turn people off immediately. So can you give me an example, Brittany, of maybe an example of a conversation that you were having that you were like, how do I transition this?
Just like old friends from high school or something that, because I went through my messenger, or not my messenger, my friends list, and it's like messaging everybody that I haven't talked to in like a year or so. And we would catch up and be like, oh, doing this, like some of my friends would be getting married or, whatever. But like, how do you go from that to like, oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
would you like to hear about my fit? Because, I mean, I know you said a lot of times when people are getting married, like they'll look for a fitness like regimen or whatever. But I just, like, I have a hard time like transitioning from
Yeah.
to that.
Because you're scared.
Have you seen my inviting document yet?
I have. I looked at it the other day.
And but that was more of like a cold invite too. Okay.
Brittany, is it more of like a fear of just wanting to say it? Because I kind of feel like I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, oh, I just caught up with this person for and then I'm gonna pop out this question. What I did, and I'm not saying it's working for me recently because of last month's little downfall, but when it was working for me, I would wait like a day or two and then go back with the pop in like, hey, I know this is kind of random and I know we just kind of caught up, but I run these accountability groups and was wondering if you're interested. Something like that. Like, for me, I wouldn't end the complete conversation like, when you get that one pause and it's like, okay, what else are you going to say? And then you're like, oh, hey, by the way, I pretty much just talked to you this whole time just to invite you to my challenge group.
Yeah.
Just wait a couple of days. I would, that's my advice.
Okay, cool.
Just wait and say, hey.
That is a good point. Like you might just want to reconnect with them on one day and rebuild that friendship and that trust on one day, and then go back and revisit with an invitation the next day. But honestly, like I really feel like a part of the reason why I don't have that fear anymore is because I always think about where would I be if I hadn't have been invited to this opportunity. And when I think of it like that, like it's not even a question in my mind whether or not I feel, like awkward or guilty, or like I could be giving somebody else this opportunity that I've been given, and that is truly how I think of it, is that why wouldn't I want to share this opportunity with somebody else?
Right.
And I that is all about having confidence, and confidence is something that you're going to have to just practice that every day, because it doesn't happen overnight. But you have to act like you're confident. Even if you're not confident, people are going to feel that you're not confident if you're not portraying yourself as being confident in this and what you're doing. So I really would go ahead and have a go-to. Like one day when you're feeling really confident and inspired, go ahead and write out a note of of how you want to transition that next conversation.
Okay.
And then save it into a note on your phone. And then the next time when you're in that position where you're like, okay, I need to transition it, but I really am scared to, then just go back to that note in your phone and read over it and say like, okay, this is what I feel about this opportunity, and I am going to share it because I feel this way about it. I really think it's great to save notes in your phone.
I have a cure. I know a cure. I have a confidence cure. I seen it on TV the other day. They have these like essences that you can like light on fire. We all get in a house. We find one that is for confidence, and we all light it, and we smoke the house out, and we all get confident from it. We'll be confident.
Like what are those things called?
I don't know. Someone did sage to get the negativity out of the house, and the whole entire house was happy for like the next whole week.
Nice.
Just an idea.
Okay, what time is it? We're gonna move on so that we can go off and be with our families. Okay, the next one is price objections. So honestly, if people don't have the money, they don't have the money. Like that's the bottom line. And that is really what I found. What I do is I follow up and I follow up and I follow up. And I say, okay, well, if you don't have the money, I go down and I give them the next option because when I already know that somebody's like, finances are an issue to me. Okay. So yeah, I want to join, but I am on a really tight budget. I want to join, but I just don't know. Okay. Two ways you can approach this. You can either approach it with the coaching opportunity from the get-go. Okay, well, you can sign up in a way that or if you want to find 3 people to do this with you, you can sign up in a way that you can pay yourself back almost as soon as you sign up. That's what I did. I did not have the money to sign up. I signed up on our credit card. But I was so determined to pay that credit card off by the time it was due that I asked like 20 people until that week I doubled what I had spent on it because I asked so many people. I wanted it that badly, like I wanted to do it this badly that I was going to cover my own costs, even if it, took me inviting so many people. So, that's one way to do it. And that is something I always do. I always bring up the coaching opportunity. The other way to go about it is, a sale is better than no sale. So, what I say is, well, let me give you the option that I recommend the very most to get the very best results first. And if that doesn't work for your budget, then we can move on to the next option. Okay, so that's basically how I laid out. Obviously, give them the challenge pack option first. If that's not in their budget, then I move down to just the base kit. Because ultimately, if it's not in their budget, it's not. Like, there's, nothing that you can really do about it. And I try to be as sensitive as possible to that because I've been in that position before. And I would have felt really frustrated if somebody kept pushing something on me that I'm like, I just can't afford that. So I want to give them the other option of the base kit, which is just, $60 or, whatever option they buy for a one-time fee of $60. And then a lot of times if they end up, so that at least is getting them involved in the Beachbody community. That's getting them into our customer support group, which we all need to be actively posting in that. Like I really am trying to keep up with it as much as possible, but we have 450 people in our customer support group. Okay. There are so many people in that support group that are just in there with a free profile because they have not pulled the trigger and bought a challenge pack. So we as a team need to be adding value and sharing our journey with them in that customer support group as much as possible too, because they're all already our customers. They just haven't committed. So, honestly, like I really, really try to keep, but I'm also very busy and it's hard for me to keep up with that every single day. So if we can all try to just do that as a group together, be, just randomly adding value to the customer support group to get people interested, then that would be awesome. But back to the base kit. So like say they say, okay, I can do $60. That seems like it's in my budget. A lot of times once they get the base kit and then get added into the accountability group and they see everybody else drinking Shakeology, they're like, oh, well, maybe I can do Shakeology. And because that's how I changed my mind. I was dead against Shakeology, and then I got into the group and I saw everybody else loving it and drinking it, and I was like, well, maybe I can try it, and then I bought a challenge pack. Yeah, I mean, that's really how I handle price objections. And then ultimately just follow up. You know, I have a couple people who say, if they say I can't afford that right now, they go immediately on my list to follow up with them in 2 weeks, to follow up with them in a month. A lot of times people will say, give me a couple weeks and I'll be able to. Well, don't expect those people to come back to you. You have to follow up with them, because those 2 weeks are gonna come and they're gonna be like, it's the weekend, I just got paid. And if you're not the first one to say, hey girl, you still wanting to join? I know you said you needed a couple weeks to get the money together. Then that weekend is going to go by and they're going to blow their money and then they're going to be out of money again. Whereas if you're the first one to get to them when they said they were going to have the money to, then the possibility of them actually purchasing are greater. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted you guys to know, I know on the accountability group, on my post today, I said we all have 3 more spots available. Well, obviously, I don't really mean that, but it just creates more of a sense of urgency. Like, you know, you can add more, but when people see, oh, there's only 3 more spots, it might give them that extra kick in the butt. And I had a hard time with that at first, honestly, because I didn't want to be lying. But you can always say, oh, well, more spots opened up. You know, like, and nobody's going to know how many spots you just filled. So that's a business move, and that's just how it is. I don't really mean it, but according to, you know, to them, I'm creating a sense of urgency.
So far?
Huh?
Do you think that's helped so far by you doing that? Did you just do it this month, saying there's 3 spots?
No, I usually do it when it comes down to the wire. Like,
Okay.
For people who have said, yeah, I want to join, and you know, and they're not, then I'm like, hey, there's only 3 spots left. You know, do you want to do a
like,
spot or not?
Like on challenge group posts, when you said at this time there's only 3 more spots,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that's helped any by you actually saying it on the post? Or it's just too hard to tell?
I really don't know. But yeah. I know that when I look at other people's posts and I see that gives me more of a kick in the butt to go, oh, I better get with her to get one of those spots, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't want any of the new coaches being like, oh, wait, I can only get another 3 people, you know? Like, no. But it just helps. It just helps kind of create a sense of, like, get your butt in gear, let's do this. You know?
Yeah. I saw Katie post a bunch of challenge group stuff yesterday, I guess, and that was one of her tips. Yeah,
and that was in the Entrepreneur Academy, what they recommended us do.
Besides Entrepreneur Academy, when's the cash pot happening?
I really don't know. I know that they put a reminder on it on Monday to say make sure your name's in there, but I don't know when they're going to be drawing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
No.
Huh, Michelle?
I said no.
Oh, okay. Good. Was this helpful?
Absolutely. It really was.
Okay, good. Oh, and then back to your question. I know I didn't really address your question about what you're going to be doing. To be honest with you, I wish that, you know, like there's a lot of coaches, and there's not the coaches. All of our coaches together don't have enough customers. Like, I want to have at least 60 customers in a challenge group in order to keep the participation level going. That's just been like between 50 and 60 people, between really 50 and 80 people in a challenge group is a good number to keep the participation up. Anything less than that kind of makes it lack participation, honestly. So This time around, just because we had so many coaches and not quite enough customers, I have to say if you don't have a customer yet, then I really just need you more, because coaches who are bringing in customers right now for this group, their customers need to see them leading some of the days. So that's why I said for this group, only if you're bringing in customers will you be like actually leading a day right now, because there wasn't really enough days to go around if we were to add all of the coaches into it.
That's perfectly fine
Yeah.
with me. I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm enjoying learning and watching
Yeah.
at this point. So
Yeah, I know. You've been so great. But what I was saying, as far as with coaches who don't have customers yet, so they're not going to be leading days, it's so important that you guys keep up with the participation. It's so important that all the coaches keep up with participation. Because if you as a coach are not participating, then your customers are not going to participate, and then your customers are not going to turn into coaches, and your customers are not going to tell other people about you and your challenge groups and and that sort of thing. So it is really important as a coach that you are participating. So I mean, even though right now I know this group you don't have anybody yet because you're a brand new coach, but and that's totally fine, but you still have a very vital role in the group to help with participation. And then hopefully by next group you'll have some customers to bring into it. I'm sure you will.
I certainly hope so.
You will. I know you will. And then obviously, if when you do get your first customer, it could be it could be tomorrow, it could be tonight. I don't know. Whenever you do, just make sure that you're adding them to our to both the customer support group and also the challenge group.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that way they can
Okay.
start getting plugged in. But okay, y'all. Well, we are right at an hour, so we'll go ahead and call it a night. And I think Thursday nights is working out as a good night to have team calls for most people, but we can just kind of play it by ear each week and just see how it goes. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now.
Okay.